All right, everyone, welcome to the Sushi Swap Trident AMA. Today here we've got Joseph, Mudit, Ross, Gasper, and Sarong. How are you guys all doing today?
Pretty good, perking up.
Nice,
Good,
nice.
thanks.
Yeah. Well, again, huge moment here for sushi, and everyone work oh, has been working really hard here. So, yeah, just want to say thank you all, and let's if you guys want to just kind of give us a quick overview here too, and maybe just give us a little bit of to into. Oh, you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just give me a little. Give us a little light into what's going on here with Trident and how it's working out. And yeah, you just want to open it up there with whoever wants to start.
Sure. I guess Joe, if you want to give an overview, maybe some updates since last week, since the announcement, and we can kind of elaborate from there.
Sure. I'll give like a high level overview of Trident. Okay. So there are a couple components here, but Trident is our new automated market maker, or AMM. It's a decentralized exchange, and we have a couple new features. The first one being that we've built Trident on top of Bento Box, and Bento Box is our a very interesting strategies platform that allows us to build applications on top of. And so, Bento Box is essentially a vault that tokens come into, and those tokens get those tokens get taken and put into yield strategies. But up above it, there's for the applications they get made available a a virtual balance. And so the principle that this works on is essentially that there's 20% of tokens on hand at any moment for any individual um, who wants to access the underlying capital. And this kind of like goes around this principle that just like you know that at any given moment nobody's going to want to withdraw like 100% from the platform. And so this gives us a much better capital efficiency. So for instance, if somebody's being a liquidity provider on our platform, they're getting the swap fees and then they're also getting the underlying strategy. Um, this is like pretty interesting from a capital efficiency perspective. And then the next major thing is that we made 4 pools. We kept our traditional pool, which is this 50-50 constant product pool. We added concentrated liquidity, which is going to give us like really high capital efficiency and is great for the blue chip type tokens. Um, our stable swap pools, our hybrid pools, our permissionless pools that allow you to configure 2 to 32 of like kind assets like USDT and USDC would be in a pool, or REN BTC, WBTC would be in a pool together. And lastly, we have weighted pools. We're going to release this all as GPL3, and we also have created a new routing engine called Tines, and Tines is a really advanced routing engine that's able to do multi-route and multi-hop, and it can do those two simultaneously and nested. So it will take into consideration gas costs, swap fees, map topology, and give you uh, the best price within the AMM. And I think that covers most of the changes. One like minor update too is that Trident is a factory and allows you to kind of as you develop new pools. Um, uh, so like we won't have these kind of long waterfall process for developing new pool types, and that's basically it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and with each of you here that's for speakers, if you guys want to just weigh in here as well, like on any of the features that you worked on or any of the things that you wanted to want to add to this as well here, and kind of give us a little bit of an outline throughout the creation process as well.
Yep, sure. I can add a couple of things that I really love about Trident. So, one design philosophy is that we don't have one market making strategy is sufficient to cover all requirements, and rather than like creating one strategy and banking everything on that, we have decided to diversify and add support for different types of pools in Trident. So these four that we are launching with are just the start of it. These just show what we can do. There is more stuff coming in future, and not only with from us directly, but the way that Trident is architectured is that anyone can contribute directly to the core. Anyone can create a pool template, and we can add that to our Trident ecosystem. So we, rather than like preventing people from innovating at core level, we are in fact encouraging people to come and develop at the core level, expand Trident, add features they think that are missing, and hopefully we can make this world a better place by a little bit. All of our source code will be open source, and yeah, trying to move to a system where we can fill everyone's requirements using different pools.
Yeah, and I guess I could elaborate there, kind of on Moody's comment that we're building a system, not a sort of one size fits all AMM solution. We have kept the templates relatively low code. They are currently in audit, and kind of we do look forward to open sourcing these and getting outside development help. But yeah, I think what has been a pleasant surprise is we've been able to sort of define a sort of basic pool interface just from, I guess, these four sort of DeFi primitives for AMMs, like the like-kind exchange, pinpoint liquidity, and sort of the more classic patterns. So I think it'll be kind of more fun and appetizing for developers to get involved because there's not that much they have to sort of relearn in order to contribute. So excited from that perspective. Kind of to Joseph's points about just pure efficiency. We've been sort of sandboxing Bento Box with the Kashi lending product, and we've seen very good efficiency gains just in having these virtual balances. So it was sort of intuitive and inevitable to sort of use Bento Box as sort of the backend infrastructure for our upgraded AMM. What's also cool about this upgraded AMM, as we discussed, is it's a factory system. So there's not going to be like a Trident 2.0, a Trident 3.0, et cetera, with a lot of disruption and migration. We'll be able to sort of iterate and I think have a more agile, exchange experience for our users that way. So looking forward to just the pure gas efficiency as well as the sort of low disruption for our users as we just keep rolling out these different sort of primitive pool types. But yeah, I guess I can hand it over to some of the other devs that have been working on Trident. If you guys want to chime in?
Yeah, I can continue off of that. So I'm also really excited about the swap efficiency that's in Trident. So basically, if you're a trader, not only your trades are going to be cheaper, but let's say you're swapping USDC and Ethereum, without having to do anything, that USDC and Ethereum are going to be utilized in strategies in the back, and you're going to get the yield on top of that. So you're going to be trading, and whenever your assets are just idle, you're going to be also automatically just gaining yield. So efficiency and yield, that's just, I'm really excited about that part.
One of the features that I love about Trident is how easy you can start developing on it. As we are having like a same pool interface for all the pools, it would also standardize the development process further, where we can easily shift to different pools and like with the address. So I think that would be also a plus if the current projects, current apps have to integrate a newer type of pool, which is getting hot at Trident that time. So as new pools get added, it makes tasks very easy to integrate and upgrade in that aspect because they all follow the iPool standard.
Yeah, awesome. No, yeah, this is really, really cool here, and like it's looking at the Bento Box kind of being the backbone of of this whole So yeah, the when it comes to fees and everything as well, like what's some of the examples like, or is in regards to like the reduction in fees for using within here? Some people might be curious about that.
Yeah, I can give some numbers. So the gas costs, since the contracts are still being tweaked here and there, these numbers can vary, but the current numbers stand at around 86,000 gas for a simple swap, and more efficiency in multi-hop swap. So once we like, if we do 2 hops, 3 hop swaps, every additional hop costs only about 30,000 gas extra, which is by far the lowest amount in all of the live products, and as far as I know, all of the like under development products. This allows us to do like multiple hop swaps that use multiple hops without increasing gas cost by a lot, and that will allow us to find the most efficient route, not only for large traders but also for traders that are trading relatively smaller amounts.
Yeah, perfect. That's great that looking out for the small guy as well in all this. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. Do we want to open this up to the audience a little bit? If anybody has questions, we can get you to come up and ask questions here about this. We'll see how this works to get everybody up. Yeah, if you can raise your hand, and we'll see if we can get Sushi Chef. We'll get you up here to ask. Do you see any questions here? There, Gajesh. Oh, maybe that's. Well, we added you as a speaker, but okay, let's try and get you again there.
Oh, hey, really cool stuff.
Oh,
are there FAQs?
Simple. Hey,
oh,
simple
yeah.
ID. There we are.
Great.
Sorry about that. Really cool stuff. Just wondering if there's more information on the Times router, any documentation or examples. I would love to learn more about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I can add a bit on that. So it's still in work, so there's no public documentation yet, but I can give you some details on it. A couple of things that, so one way to think of this new sushi swap is basically that it's a collection of AMM. So when we have to find a path, we don't have to search just a couple of pairs, but we have to search among thousands of pairs, probably, because every pair can actually have multiple pools deployed. So someone can deploy each die pair, for example, on as a constant product pool, as a concentrated liquidity pool, as a weighted pool, and even they can have multiple types of like multiple versions of constant product pool with the same underlying, because one of the features that we allow people to utilize is different values of fees. So there can be a pool with 5 basis point fees, there can be a pool with 30 basis points, and so on. So at the end of the day, the Times routing engine is the most critical bit. There is pathfinding, and it sorts of goes through all of these different pools. It plots a graph for price impacts on all of these, and then it tries to find the ideal curve. So this way, once it has all the data, it can give you the most efficient for whatever input amount you provide. The actual underlying math and the source code is still being worked on, and we'll be able to share more details as we finalize all of that.
Yeah, I think more immediately we should be able to share interfaces from our core contracts that are under audit. Joe, I don't know if you want to talk more about the sort of stages of how we want to roll things out. But yeah, more details should be available soon to developers and integration partners.
Yeah, I think like in the next like probably next few days we're gonna show our iPool interface, and we're gonna launch some grants around that for people who want to build their own specific pools, and I'm sorry, like did they say specifically what the details were that they wanted with regard to?
Oh yeah, Tines. I think in terms of that
Tines.
documentation.
Oh yeah, Tines is in a public branch. Like we're just working on it in the public. There isn't much details. I think that the yeah. Yeah. So I think we'll have some details like a little bit closer to. We just don't want to show everything, but if you look at the code base, you could like infer some things about like how Tides is working, and we have like a pretty, I would say, like a novel algorithm.
Yeah, in terms of other public code, I guess we also have open source the Oracle that we've been building, and the storage proof solution. Joe, I know you've been kind of focused on that more recently. Is there anything you would want to share with regard to Trident in terms of that public work?
Yeah. So the storage proofs. Okay, so we're not really there yet with storage proofs. The problem is that they're 800K gas, and we need to kind of golf that down to something below like 200K for it to make sense. But like in general, the idea is that with TWAP, for anything you typically need like 2 snapshots. I'm sorry, I'm just like throwing around like jargon here. So a TWAP is a time weighted average like price, and that comes from the contract kind of like on a basis of every trade, or kind of like weighing in this price. And what the problem is that most things need 2 snapshots, and at any moment you only have 1 snapshot. And our storage proof time weighted average Oracle will provide 2 snapshots. The way that it does this is it takes a previous storage proof from a previous block and validates it against. You have availability of up to basically an hour of block headers, and you can validate any piece of data that's in a block against a block header. And so you basically validate this storage proof against the previous block header from the last hour plus the current snapshot. And so you can get 2 snapshots at once rather than kind of like have this like this, this kind of this weird interaction where you take 1 snapshot, then you have to wait 5 minutes for the next one and then take another one.
Yeah, so that's more for the developers in the audience, but there are complex problems that I think we're working on publicly, and definitely invite developers to join us there as well, before we release the Trident core contracts. Are there other questions, or was there a set of written questions maybe submitted by the community?
Hi there.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Right. Thanks for having me here. I just have a few questions, actually. I'm a ex-SUSHI or SUSHI bar staker, so naturally my questions would surround around the ex-SUSHI fee sharing on Trident. How does it accurately capture the value with the new AMM, which removes the barriers between liquidity and lending? So will there be a new token to do this, or will the existing ex-SUSHI token be leveraged?
Yeah, a quick answer is that we do have a fee sent to the SUSHI bar from the Trident exchange involving all the sort of pool types. Moody, I don't know if you want to go into more details. We've considered maybe some tweaks in terms of how that fee might be shared, but more immediately to your question, yes, the current ex-SUSHI staking contract is used.
Okay, that's great. Because I think after looking over what Trident is about, and I think it's really interesting that you're using capital efficiency by mixing lending and liquidity. So it actually brings to mind, I think, leveraged farming, which I'm not sure if that's part of the plan to be doing something similar to Alpha Homora, which is to use lending assets to farm or to provide liquidity and therefore generate more yield for lenders. But if that's the case, as well as how it works with Bento Box, I think it's a bit harder for, say, someone who's both depositing LP and also staking XSUSHI to figure out what's the yield or like how the yield is coming to, because there's like multiple different strategies being applied to the same capital. Or I might be understanding this wrong, and in that case, I would love to hear how it actually works.
Yeah, so on that, a leverage strategy is a possibility on Bento Box, but in practical terms, it's a bit unlikely that we'll be deploying one. So Bento Box will be targeting safe strategies that do not have any potential risk attached to it, or like very minimal risk attached to them. And if we go with leveraged stuff, it just adds more risk, and more often than not, you will have to also face like impermanent loss risk if you go down that route. So it is unlikely that we'll be adding leverage strategies. But otherwise, you're right, the fees will still go to the current XSUSHI holders. There is no new token being planned. We'll still be sending fees to the XSUSHI holders.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you, Mudit. I do have one last question, which is around the hinting of franchise pools on central exchanges. Is there anything that you can share on that, or is that still very much in the works?
Yeah, on that, I can add a few details. So that is actually one of the pool types that we will be adding in future. And franchisee pools will again be of different variants. You'll have your like constant product franchisee pool, concentrated liquidity franchisee pool, and more. Um, as far as the actual working goes, that is actually still under research. We are exploring what partners want, because like for franchisee pools, we have to work with others to like make it work. We don't plan on like entering that uh, that regulated market or anything like that on our own. We'll just be providing the technology. So just seeing out there what the demand is.
Awesome. I hope that answers everything there for you. Yeah, let's bring up the next speaker here. And we do have a few questions from the community that we have from previous, but we'll let anybody that has questions to ask those first, and then we can get to some of those. But who have we got next here? Shalom. Can we let them up here to unmute yourself, and we can let you ask your question.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Hey, great, thank you.
Hey, honestly, I just want to say it's an honor to talk to you guys. Knowing that you guys are like basically like leaders of the community. I know a couple of you are probably in the Cointelegraph's top 100 crypto influencers. I've been doing a lot of research, and it's really interesting reading up on you guys and other projects in the community. So I just wanted to kind of ask, like, how are you guys outfitting yourselves, or more like, I think, how are you guys gonna celebrate? Considering you guys are like basically, in my opinion, like one of the worldwide like soon to be understood and adopted AMMs. You guys are basically I'm not saying you guys are celebrities up here, but you guys are pretty like well known. You guys are famous. So I just want to say like congratulations to you guys, the team, and yeah, like how are you guys expecting to be basically dealing with like peer-to-peer like payments in person, considering how big your user base might be in the future?
Yeah, I think immediately to that last point, we already have a interesting example in the Bento Box SDK of a sort of Sablier-like payment streaming app that we would like to see implemented. Of course, there's a triage to our development, but to the earlier points, I definitely appreciate throwing roses and the encouragement, but yeah, I mean, the community is the energy here. That's kind of what I feed off of, and I think a lot of us on the development side kind of look to for inspiration and to kind of get motivate us to keep pushing the envelope. So I thank everyone here as well, who kind of made the time this morning to ask us questions and be a part of something. So yeah, appreciate it. Wind beneath our wings or something. Any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you. I want to say, like, with regard to like a most adopted AMM, we're going to be the most adopted AMM when price reflects that, right? Like that's just how the market works, and that Trident is a big step in that direction. As for celebrations for being that, I think that like we'll postpone those until the scoreboard like actually reflects that. And I think that like we're making really good progress, but we have to like kind of like keep pressing on the absolute outside edge of what this industry is capable of. I think that bento box is a huge part of that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, right now we're
Go
all
ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Right now we're all pretty busy with Trident, so I don't think any of us even was thinking about where to celebrate or stuff like that. But I'm sure when the time comes, we're gonna figure out a nice way to do that. But yeah, we're all super busy right now, so it's also very nice to hear those words of encouragement. Thank you.
Great. Let's if we've got another question here. Thank you very much for all the kind words from the previous one here. But let's bring up the next speaker, or whoever's next here. Please unmute yourself, and we can.
Do you mind
get
if I go here?
Whoever's I can't remember who. Don't really see who is.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. There you go. Go ahead.
Great. Just wondering, can you share anything specific about the strategies that are going to drive yield in Bento Box? Are these developed by SUSHI, or will they be partnerships with any other protocols? And then how will fees from those strategies contribute to XSUSHI holders?
So there's the strategies on Bento. So we already have Bento deployed right now, and with Kashi funds in it. We have strategies around taking tokens in Bento and wrapping them and putting them onto Compound. Right now, there's just not a whole lot of like operational latitude on our team to be able to execute on that all the time. But when we kind of move forward with a much larger TVL from our migration into Bento Box, we will we'll like definitely do more work around that. In fact, we're going to start offering some grants for people who want to build strategies for Kashi. So like that's like a double win. You get paid to build a strategy, and then you also get to have a strategy where there's probably some strategist fee or we're like, I think in the coming days we're gonna write some grants with regard to strategy writing. But right now it's just Compound. Basically, the tokens come in, they go and they get wrapped on Compound. The tokens that you deposited are actually like credited to you as shares if you are like, it's called shares, which like is similar to if you think of like XSUSHI, right? XSUSHI is a share of a pool of sushi, right? And that's essentially how this works.
Okay, and
wait,
I mean,
no,
does
hang
that
on.
drive
Sorry,
any
you asked
additional
about
fees to
XSUSHI.
XSUSHI?
Yeah. That is a good question. My gut check is no, but I'm also not that deep yet. So I would have to say I don't know, but likely no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. We've got the next speaker here, SPEM, SPMN. If you want to unmute yourself. Oh, okay. If anybody else. Oh, there we are. CF921. Can you hear us? Want to go ahead with your question? CF921? Or Russ, if CF921 isn't working, yeah, Russ, just you can go ahead and unmute yourself and get you to ask your question.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, thanks.
Thanks for the chance to give me up here on stage. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge and all the amazing things you're doing in the community. My question was following up maybe 2 questions previously and just on community. And since you guys have one of the strongest and one of the most engaged communities here in crypto metaverse, could you talk a little bit about what are some of your strategies? What are some of the things that you guys do as a team thinking forward to help engage, empower, and educate the community?
I guess I could, start there. One of my side projects that I've found a lot of, kind of personal enjoyment and it has been sort of upgrading community governance tools like the snapshot, adding more ex-sushi sort of counting to voting weight there. So I think it's kind of twofold. As developers, I think we could do more to sort of talk to users and to learn about what the community wants to see executed on our roadmap in the order of things. But also, trying to build better tools for people to actually have this sort of network ownership. One thing that we do have, in Trident is sort of minimal governance of sort of the whitelisting of pool templates, sort of management of fees. And I think it'd be interesting for sort of the developers and the community to kind of think strategically about how we control certain aspects of the contracts that we're deploying. I think this is very complicated. Not the least to, there are issues actually in the underlying SUSHI tokens somewhat with delegation of votes, but I think that we've seen solutions already that I'd be pretty excited to implement to improve this sort of SUSHI DAO and the actual sort of control here. So that's something that I think we're definitely taking seriously. But first, I think as sort of the core team, we're trying to sort of consolidate and bring the current products together into something that the community can digest and help us sort of govern. But yeah, I hope that helps. That's kind of my perspective, but curious what other sort of devs think about sort of the relationship here. I agree that it's very important and very unique to SUSHI. And I've been very impressed by the sort of activity on the forum and sort of the social layer to SUSHI. That in many ways is the moat. That's way more important than the developers. You can fork our code. We encourage people to fork Trident contracts even. But I think it's very hard to kind of fork the community and sort of the story that we've been creating together. So yeah, just my 2 cents. Curious what others think. Cool. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to hop in here as well here just to kind of discuss a little bit of more just like communal side here as well, and kind of touching on your the voting part of it too here with using snapshot and whatnot. One thing that, of course, a lot of people that have been a part of the AMAs or the forums are very familiar with the popes, and popes have been a big driver I've found here recently with the adopting community and whatnot. So the proof of attendance protocol badges, that's helped a lot, I found, and people are engaging with that and are very interested in having those. And that was one thing that I was really pleased with, Ross, is that getting that tied into voting and with governance. So any of these voting or any votes that happen now, once that happens, we'll be getting, I voted Pope badges. So just more things to like anything we can have to help get more people engaged and involved, and I really like that kind of stuff. And again, that just more contribution to the forum, like seeing everything that's gone through here with our recent thing with the raise, and seeing how much engagement and interaction was happening there, and just having an open discussion about it. Like that really helps build community. It helps people connecting, communicating, and understanding where everybody is, and try and level the playing field in a lot of ways. So I really like seeing that. And of course, for anybody here that isn't a part of our Discord, we've got a massive community over there. We got a ton of people there that are engaging and are active. We're trying to do our best to engage with people who have questions, who need support, have all kinds of, whatever. We've got all kinds of channels there that are available. We're doing what we can to try and, answer the right questions, get people the right answers. And, we're trying to set it up as well with, certain people that you should chat with, and know that, trying not to get scammed as well, because there's a ton of scamming going on in this space. And we want to be able to try and educate people as much as we can and keep everybody safe, keep your funds safe. So, come over there and engage with us. And I just kind of on the tail end of Popes and Discord. If you're here in Twitter, be sure to join our Discord as well. I'm going to do a bit of a snapshot to get out Popes to anybody that's in our Discord in a few hours. So we're looking at implementing that. So make sure you join the Discord, and you can see everything that's going on there as well. So that's kind of it for me on that end. So if any other devs want to speak up as well. And if not, let's move over to. I see we've got Russ. I don't know if that helps answer it, or if you've got any further things with it.
If I could, that definitely does help me a huge amount, and thank you for that. I was curious, maybe outside of governance, and POAPs are definitely awesome, and I've used them and got some in the past, but it seems that governance is one of the only, or one of the more focused community tools, and that's fine, but just as far as onboarding and engaging community members, there has to be something more, right? I mean, you guys have an amazing Discord community. I just want to know from the big brains, kind of what you guys think about just growing a community and how you do it organically.
I mean, ideally, this AMA is a good step in that direction. Kind of just showing up and being transparent about what we're prioritizing on dev side. And then, getting sort of instant feedback in these sort of digital watering holes like Twitter. I think that's always been helpful, and kind of leaning on Discord and those tools. I've seen sort of good engagement there. I think kind of like, I don't know the best solutions. The community will, I think, kind of ask questions and help us find better ways to engage. But ideally, this is a good start, right? So.
Thank you very much, Rods. And we'll, we're doing our best to keep growing the community as best we can, and engaging in a lot of different ways. So outreach is a big thing too. So we'll keep it that. So Davis, you're up next here.
Hey guys, I had a question on the weighted pools. Is it going to be possible to set a custom fee, and is there any plan to support more than 8 assets and something like maybe a circuit breaker, so that if I LP a token that gets infinitely minted like Cover did a while ago, and the whole pool gets drained, a circuit breaker to prevent that? Is that something you all considering?
Okay, so there are a couple of questions here. Weighted pools will be a pair pool. There is currently no design for pausing pools. We like to keep it like permissionless, and that's like, that's the balance between like decentralization and risk. Is do we allow kind of like these freezing or pausing of that allow people to withdraw. Initially, our designs had a governance component where essentially like the governor contract had access to like these different methods, including like the capability to freeze or upgrade a pool. We found that to be really gas inefficient. And that's really the axis that we want to optimize the most on, is gas efficiency for swaps, especially since we have to pay an extra 10K in overhead gas for bento box. being to get our gas below everybody else, we have to do like some like interesting tricks. And so governance and like kind of pool control fell to the wayside, but it's not dead in the sense that we have the ability to add new pools as we go forward, and that's the whole like design around Trident, right? Is that like we don't want to like kind of like do this like big long waterfall process of like, okay, now we're deploying a new AMM with a new like periphery contracts. It's like we deploy as we come up with new concepts and get more inventive. We deploy new pool types. And so one of those ones in the future could have this capability. We just don't.
Yeah, just adding to that. Definitely a circuit breaker can be something we can explore. A feature which basically like stops all activities if uh, like some high volume of swaps or something is detected. That being said, that is not part of the initial four pools, just because implementing this will definitely add to gas costs and probably won't be helpful for majority of the stable assets. But this, I believe, can be added as a separate pool type in future, maybe few months down the line. We can develop this, or if you want to collaborate, you can develop a pool which has the circuit breaker feature, and we would be happy to add it to Trident.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope that kind of answers there for you, Davis. And if there's anybody else that wants to weigh in on it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that's good then, Davis. Yeah. If there's anybody else that has questions, we'll get you up here. We're probably gonna wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes here. This has been it's been really great. One other question here. A lot of stuff has been covered already, from the questions I've got here. But yeah, I guess touching in here on like how do I, as a human, optimize the distribution of my provided liquidity among all these different pools, ranges, weights, and how do I compete with bots? I don't know if we can touch on that lightly.
Okay, so we're gonna have a dead simple interface, right? Or we have like in my opinion, we have one of the best design teams in crypto. It didn't happen by accident. We built that slowly, and we have like a really effective design team. So when I've already seen many of these screens, like we actually just did like a planning, like a UI planning yesterday. They look really good. It seems really simple for you to find like what pools you want. But really, if you're just if you're adding or removing liquidity, you'll need those. But for the most part, if you're just swapping, Tines is going to take care of everything. Tines is going to route you through and get you the best price.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for that. Peter, if you want to unmute yourself and we can, yeah, go ahead.
Hey guys, how's it going? So I just had like a quick question. So on Trident's mainnet launch, will it be available on all the different chains that Sushi's on, or will it be on like just Ethereum? Just curious.
So right now the plan we think is probably going to Polygon, but we're still not absolutely sure. That's going to be the first deployment, and so we want to kind of battle harden the deployment and then kind of like go everywhere afterwards.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Have we got anybody else here needs looking to ask them questions? And yeah, we can get you up here and you can ask. So one other question we've got here is what's like the biggest difference between hybrid pools in Trident and hybrid pools from Balancer?
Yeah, so Balancer, as far as I know, has weighted pools. Like rather than the hybrid pools that we have are similar to the stable swap pools, which allow you to trade similar assets without much slippage. So there is no weight attached to these pools. All of the assets are assumed to be worth the equal amount, and they are like, if the pool is short on one asset, it will try to get more of it, and it will ratios of all of the assets. On the other hand, balancer is like your weighted pool. They basically do like x to the power a, y to the power b, z to the power c equal to k kind of curve. That is sort of similar to the weighted pools that we have. Um, as for differences, I think the main difference comes from our use of bento box under the hood. They have their own vaults. We have bento box, and we'll like eventually I think it will come down to having good strategies. For bento box, I have very high hopes, given that we'll be having like hopefully we'll be having a lot of assets within bento box. Just looking at the current tvl, maybe $3 billion is something we can target for Trident in the first few months, and that will allow us to build or invite very good, efficient, nice strategies for bento box that can give us an edge over the competition who has similar pools.
Cool. Great. Thank you. Thank you. One other thing I want to ask about is if we can just like talk about the LSD NFT distribution. We're getting a lot of questions about that on Discord. Just wondering if you guys can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, Joe is gonna airdrop that. Joe, maybe you can add more details.
Oh, the Bad Trip NFT. Yeah. So I'm gonna work on that today. I just have a list of all the addresses of people who are in the audience, and I'm gonna go write a little script to airdrop it to everybody. So should be inbound today, unless I encounter a problem. I don't really see that because it's not really that difficult. So expectation like towards end of day today in CDT time. So like in maximum like 13 hours from now. And then I'll do I wanted to do a video of the destruction of the additional cards, and haven't done that yet, but I'll do that kind of like just following the airdrop.
Cool. And how can people view it after they receive it?
View the token?
Yeah, I just like to see the NFT afterwards.
Okay, so this is a controversial topic, is an ERC20 an NFT? Like we had to use an ERC20 for the capability to use MISO Dutch auctions, and my consideration was like, do we make this is the design decision. Do we make a redemption contract where you pay in your ERC20 and you get an ERC 1155? I think the answer is probably no. I think it makes more sense to have to leave it in ERC20, especially for redemptive reasons. It'll be like very similar to socks or sake.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, if we've got CSPMN, I can just see the first four letters of your name here. If you've been up here a few times, I don't know if your mic's not working or what's up, but
do you guys hear me?
oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah, sorry.
You got an echo though, so if you can go to headphones.
No, I don't have them now. Is that fine?
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, now that you're adding concentrated liquidity pools, when we make a range order, can we choose which coin of the pair to add to the pool? Or is it just one coin by default, like it happens on Uniswap?
So there are three cases here. Okay, if you're there is the case where you're below range. There's a case where you're in range. There's a case where you're out of range, or sorry, above range. So below range, it will be token like token 0. If you're above range, it will be 100% token 1, and if you're in range, it will be a mixture of both. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, my question is specifically, let's say the range is below the spot price. Can we choose which one of the two to add to the pool, or is just one?
Yeah, on that, I can add some more details. So adding to the pool is only possible with one token at that moment. So you can't add range orders with the other token, but separate from our like concentrated pools, we have already launched limit orders that you can use to add like any limit order or range order that you want. And um, in fact, that will use all of the pools available. You won't be limited to just one single pool. So if your aim is to like use, if your aim is to put a limit order, then you should be using that dedicated functionality, not the like, range order in our concentrated pool functionality.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot here. We're closing in on the hour as well. So, yeah, if there's any last kind of comments here from any of the devs, if you guys want to last closing thoughts here or anything.
One thing I'd like to add.
Go for it.
Yeah. So definitely we are just getting started. And the thing I was gonna say is that we are hiring. So if anyone wants to join, hit me up or hit Joe up. We are expanding our team because there's so much to build and only so little time to build.
Yes, DMs are open. We need like Solidity devs, senior and otherwise. We need some front end people. We need people who are experts in subgraph, protocol people. We need them all. And we're going to be hiring probably in between 10 and 12 people over the next 6 months. Assuming that the workload stays the same. If the workload increases, it'll be more.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think it's a great place to wrap up. Thank you everyone for showing up and coming out to this AMA. Thank you all the SUSHI team for all of this as well. Yeah, I just want to throw out, of course, if you're part of this Twitter already, you've got the Sushi Chef Twitter handle. Sushi.com is for if you're not swapping over there, come on over there. And yeah, please be sure to join our Discord as well. So go to sushi.com to get connect to our Discord. If you're not a part of that, join that, please. We're, like I was mentioning here with the popes, which have been a pretty hot topic over in the Discord area. Please join the Discord, and anybody that's been a Discord part of our Discord here is in the next probably 4 hours. We're going to do a little snapshot to send out a pope for the Trident release here. So. Please come over there, join it. Like I say, sushi.com, and you can find the Discord link from there. But yeah, other than that, just thank you all so much for coming out and being a part of this. And yeah, just